Welcome back, everybody. A bit of breaking news coming out of the Oversight Committee, John.
Yeah, James Comer made good on this show a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. He said, I'm going to get all the Epstein documents out. First batch, 33,000 pages, released about 20 minutes ago. Justin News has the very latest, and I go to justinnews.com for that. But making good things. I don't think people are going to find a lot of satisfying new secrets. I think it's more of the same. Again, because of what George Bush's Justice Department did. They covered it up in 08 and 09, and after that, there was no chance that Epstein or his colleagues were going to keep the most damaging stuff. But Congress delivering, just like Kash Patel delivered when he delivered the documents. I think we're starting to get all of the documents out. I think that's an important task.
No. Okay, we haven't even talked about this off air, so I'm interested to get your reaction that Jerry Nadler, he is not going to seek re-election.
Not surprising. He doesn't. He's actually not left enough for his far too left party, and so that New York seems to be going in the trend line of how far left can we go, and so I think Nadler would probably not have a good primary result, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, that's what we were just talking to the rabbi about.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of how far left people like Rashida Tlaib are yanking her party, and her party can't censure her because they can't cave like that.
No, because they face a primary challenge. It's a real problem. Listen, the Democratic Party has a lot of really important problems. One is the leftward drift. The second is the demographics of the country. Yeah. It isn't just the reapportionment process in Texas that just was completed. The New York Times had a really powerful story taking a look at what the 28 and 32 elections look like. And the migration of more Republicans are just more and more states. It's going to be impossible for Democrats long term, even with California, to win the Electoral College and presidential races because this country is turning red. And the reason it's turning red is because the base of the party has turned so far to the radical left.
Yeah,
it's amazing what's going on.
I saw an incredible graphic over the weekend that showed different districts across this country and states that have started to clean up their voter rolls, and it showed the trajectory of the state, and in every single instance it led to fewer Democrat registrations and more Republican registrations.
You can see it in all the battleground states. Democrats are going down, Republicans are going up, or independents are going up. I don't know if we have this. Hey guys, do you have President Trump's public service announcement to Venezuelans? Can we get that up on screen? We don't. All right.
Not yet? Okay, well, maybe we'll have it in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Speaking of what we were talking about with the lunacy of the left, California Supreme Court just ruled in favor of removing gang-related charges from California's three-strike system. So this is a system that offers harsher sentences for recidivistic crimes. Thousands of convicted criminals, including those with life sentences, can now petition the courts to re-examine their cases because of this ruling. Just insane.
Unleash anarchy. That's what they're doing. They're harming their own people in the name of claiming to serve them. And California is going to be unlivable pretty soon. It really is. I don't know what they're doing. They're taking one of the most beautiful, prosperous venues in the world and turning it into a sanitarium. It's the new Marble Asylum.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, if we can get some marble asylums back in California, then that would at least clean it up a little bit.
Your politicians and pound them there.
All right, so I was keeping an eye on Polymarket today, and oftentimes they have these wild theories about what's going to happen coming out of the Oval Office. And President Trump had his announcement today that Space Force CENTCOM is going to be now down in Rocket City, Huntsville, Alabama, which for years when I was growing up, every time we drove through Huntsville, we would stop at the big rocket. It's very cool. You can go to Space Camp there. You can go to Aviation Challenge.
Space Camp's there, right?
Yeah, Space Camp and Aviation Challenge is the next step up. But yeah, incredible. So speaking of Polymarket, Trump's Oval Office address today about that was running 30 minutes late. So there's an account on Polymarket called Kamala's Revenge who was betting that Trump was going to be resigning today. If she had been right, she would have made $200,000. But I would say that was probably a wasted bet.
It was.
All right, speaking of Alabama.
Must have been Democrat wasting their money again.
That's right. Speaking of Alabama, two senators, both Katie Britt and Tommy Tuberville from Alabama, both Auburn graduates.
Yeah.
Well, not Auburn graduates, Tommy Tuberville coached there.
Right.
But they were there present, and President Trump made a comment about Alabama losing, and then Tommy Tuberville, of course, reminded him that Auburn won, and President Trump said, oh yeah, that was a good thing. So I was very happy to see that was clarified in the Oval Office, that Alabama lost and Auburn won.
Hashtag bring back Nick Saban. Hashtag. That's my hashtag for the day.
Our morning host on this network, Gina Loudon, is going to have words for me because, she's a big Bama fan.
She is a Bama fan. Well, There isn't a whole lot to cheer for right now. It's just not the same team. They're poorly coached, and they've got the wrong style of football for the SEC right now.
Yeah, you know, when I was at Auburn,
Boars.
it was an era where Alabama had a string of coaches, one after the other, and that was after Gene Stallings. And I do wonder if they're going to experience the same type thing where the turnover is basically a year or two, and then they have
Bryant.
There aren't that
Nick
many.
Saban.
Look, even coming from an Auburn
bookends of
fan, I will
greatest
admit
football.
there are not that many Nick Sabans out there, and it's
No,
going to be
no,
hard.
it's
They're
not.
going to have to kiss a lot of frogs before they find
I agree,
that
you're
Bama
right.
prince. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate you being here. We will be back here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern.